is realignment good or bad for college football? Sankey says he feels sadness. Sadness. So whoever picks the best word, better than sadness, that is currently in the lead, they will win a Hooker t-shirt. How about that? Pretty cool. So you got to beat sadness. Caleb Calhoun, I'm the judge and jury. Tracy Morgan is going to jump in with me and call some people out.
That's crazy.
All right. So sadness. Beat sadness. Because I'm going to defend the commissioner of the SEC. He does feel sadness because he hates to see the way things have gone. Does he feel any regret? H to the E to the double hockey sticks? No, he doesn't. Because he got Texas and Oklahoma and he could get even better. But it's okay to feel sadness. You break up with the girl, you move on. She's better looking. She's more fun. You're not second guessing your move, but you feel a little sadness that what's her name isn't holding up as well.
This is the song closing time. Every new beginning comes from somewhere their beginning's end.
That's a lot of words. It's one.
I know, but hey, here's the thing.
Robert says melancholic.
So okay, I'm going to say what Greg
Robert's skin is turning yellow.
Greg Sankey, I'm going to tell you what he's really feeling. Fear. Greg Sankey dropped the ball. He started the trend of realignment by adding Texas and Oklahoma, but then he dropped the ball and let the Big Ten move faster than him. And now the Big Ten has leverage over the SEC because of mismanagement by Greg Sankey. And the sadness comes from the fact that he's now worried what's going to happen in the SEC. So it's fear.
Well, Caleb is oftentimes wrong on the program, but not like 120% wrong.
I'm never wrong on the program. What are you talking about?
It's content. It's comfortable. Just see what happens, Big Ten.
Wrong.
See how you mess this up. And then if I want to, I'll come steal Oregon and Washington from you one day because the SEC will be able to do that. It's contentment. I don't know that it's sadness at all. By the way, just so you don't know, the Pac-12 has broken up before. And Caleb probably knows this. I heard somebody citing this. It was like back in the 1940s. It's done it before. I mean, we are not in crazy land.
No, it rebranded. But the conference has been around for over 100 years.
Yeah, but I mean, they were down to like 4 or 5 teams at one point. But Tennessee Junior goes despondic, which is, I think, despondent. But nevertheless, I've got Tennessee Junior with despondic right now leading.
Overall, conference realignment is bad for college football. It's bad. And Dave, I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
I got a question, Dave.
Why is it bad? Why is it bad?
Because do you remember the 2007 regular season? Do you remember the chaotic 2007 season?
Yes.
You're never going to have a season like that again in college football.
So?
Ever. Because that's the greatest, most entertaining season in the history of sports. You can't find a better season than that. Conference realignment is bad because I don't want an NFL model with 60 teams or whatever. I like college football to have however many teams across the country, and you win your championship for your region, and you have regional pride, and then the extra trophy, the extra cherry is winning a national title. What's happening right now? Could you imagine if high school football went this route? If high school football went like, oh, we're going to have a national high school football league. That would be terrible. Okay.
Why?
Because
they do it in baseball.
But you're from Knoxville. Does the Powell High, does Alcoa Maryville? Is that not a great rivalry in high school football? Could you imagine if that was lost?
Rivalry. Yes, that's a great rivalry.
I'm from Memphis, Ridgeway, White Station. I went to Ridgeway. My brother went to White Station. Great rivalry in basketball. If you go national with all of this, these regional amazing rivalries that are so tied to so many things are gone. I'm sorry.
Wait. Tell me that. But Caleb, tell me that fans aren't going to pile into planes and go to an Oregon game or a Penn State game or a Texas game or wherever the SEC is going to be played. Fans are going to pile in.
They will. But Dave, I got a question. You're a Cowboy fan. Okay, they're in the NFC East. I don't know how they are in the NFC East regionally. That's the stupidest thing in the world that the NFL does. But what do you care more? Okay, say you were still a Tennessee fan and not covering Tennessee. In a given year, the Cowboys can sweep Washington, or Tennessee beats Alabama. You're taking Tennessee beats Alabama every time if you're still a Tennessee fan.
Yes.
Every single time. No Tennessee. Heck, Tennessee Vanderbilt is a more entertaining rivalry than Dallas and Washington.
Okay, but let's make the comparison fair. If you're a Tennessee fan out there, would you take 11-1 and win a national title, or would you beat Alabama, Georgia, and Florida and somehow not get in the college football playoff?
You'll take 11-1. I agree, but the national title's there. But what I'm saying is college football is making it all about the national title. And that's what's bad for the sport. That's where the NFL model is.
I'm what, about 10, 15 years older than you? I remember thinking it should be all about the national title in the 80s when they're splitting it up because the AP and the coaches can't decide who gets it. To me, that was stupid. To me, I felt this way in 1989. Yeah, I felt this way that this should all come together and be a lot simpler. Had I known it was going to take this long, I wouldn't have gotten my hopes so high at the time because I thought it would take 3 or 4 years. My thinking was at the time in the mid-90s that both they would have a college football playoff of 12 to 16 teams and marijuana would be legal in the next 3 or 4 years. We saw that both took a lot longer than we thought. But here we are, and I'm glad, and I want to see great games. I want to see a Tennessee, Penn State, an off-week game, knowing that they both have to win to either keep home field advantage, have a bye, or make the playoffs, whatever the case may be. Yes, I'm up for a 38 to 48 team model of the best, and take out all this NIL ambiguous craziness. The schools need to pay the players, so the players can go ahead and unionize. They can determine what they want, but the schools pay the players. And if you want to have your $100 handshakes, go ahead and do them. But ultimately, it's got to funnel through the schools. That's the only way to fix NIL.
By Dave's standards, guys, just know what Dave's saying on the message board. By Dave's standards, the 85 Vols belong in the dustbin of history because they didn't win the national title.
No. How about last year? Let's say that Tennessee didn't make the 12-team playoff and because they slipped up to Florida. Okay, let's just say, just because we got to give them a reason that they're not in the 12, all right?
Mm-hmm.
That's still a special year if they go from where they are to 13 or 14 and don't make the playoff. The 85 Sugar Balls are still a special year. Very special.
It's not, though, if we go by the thing was winning your conference title mattered to a great degree. One of the best things I will say, I criticize college basketball all the time. And I think I cannot stand the college basketball model. I think it's stupid. I don't like a 68-team tournament. But think about those smaller schools that win their conference championship. That's their championship. Yes, they get bounced out by a 1 seed in the first round of the NCAA tournament and lose by 40 to Duke. But their championship was winning their conference to get to the NCAA tournament. And I think there's something special about where college football, that was across the board, and it made games matter more. Last year's Tennessee-Alabama game in 2 years will be rendered completely irrelevant. There's no value to that game because both teams make the playoff.
Okay, I see where you're going, but I think that they'll still be selling shirts. I think that'll still be one of the greatest memories in Tennessee football fans' history. It'll still be to Alabama fans. It'll be the game that got away if Jahmyr Gibbs makes that catch and the kicker makes the kick. I don't think that game's going to be forgotten. I mean, if you want to look back, it
won't be because there wasn't a 12-team playoff. But if there was, it would have been forgotten.
But I still remember a lot of the great games in regular season history in the NFL. Maybe not as many percentage-wise, but I still remember. I remember a lot of the playoff games.
Yes, you remember the playoff games, but you don't remember the regular season.
If not.
Yes, that's why the playoffs is awesome. But the regular season is not as big in the NFL because of that. The kick six would go in the dustbin of history too. The Auburn-Alabama kick six, the greatest game in the history of college football, would have been completely irrelevant with the 12-team playoff. And I mean, also, by the way, because conferences are getting so big, conference championships don't matter that much anymore either. because the conference are so big. Your focus is getting on the 12-team playoff. Who cares if you win the conference? And except for you only care to win the conference for purposes of a first round bye in the playoff, but you don't actually have okay, so you didn't win a 20-team conference championship. Okay.
All right. I still think that there's enough at stake where the regular season is going to be huge and nobody's going to be happy with 9-3. The big programs are not going to be happy with 9-3 slipping into the playoffs and losing first round. So I don't think that the entire way of judging a good season has been changed completely. It's been altered a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be changed, because ultimately you're going to have the Mark Richt effect, where it seemed like they were always knocking on the door of a championship, never got there, but were winning 10 games. That wasn't good enough. I don't believe that's going to be the case with other teams that are going to be good enough if they just slip in.